June went by insanely quickly. We ended up playing 5 games for review videos, but somehow managed to play even more outside of that. I also managed to get some reading done, The Midnight Library being the best book I read in June, The Satsuma Complex being the worst. We even squeezed in a few shows and movies, some great, some and some terrible. If you can believe it as well, we also went outside a few times. But you're here for the games, and I reckon we should start with the game I played the most. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are. We did a video on Overwatch 2 late last year and quite enjoyed what the game had to offer, but I just sort of moved on until this month, when my friends convinced me to re-download the game so we could form a full team. It's been a blast. I have spent most of the month learning a main for each class so I can queue for all roles like a good Samaritan, and have a few backups just in case. My 3 mains have been affectionately titled the Waifu Squad, Mercy because I am the worst, Ash because she's as close as I can get to playing Bob, and best waifu Sigma. Sigma very quickly became my favourite to play because there's something innately satisfying about throwing black hole D12s and massive rocks at people whilst screaming at them. This is definitely a team game though. Queuing with 4 friends is great because we can have a good laugh and manage to put up a good fight even if we do end up losing. However, we have had a few nights where only 1 or 2 of us could hop on, and some of those games were pure misery. I wouldn't solo queue with a gun to my head. I know my friends watch these videos, so I'm going to address them directly. It's your fault I haven't had time to continue with my current game of the year. There was a blissful time 3 weeks ago, before Overwatch 2, where I managed to get some decent playtime in with Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm still having a blast. After a lot of shrine distractions, I did finally get around to doing the water temple and saving Zora's domain. The water temple was a bit simple, but the climb up did feel great, and I loved the whole build up to the temple. I think this is what Tears of the Kingdom is doing better than previous games, where the build up to the temple is almost better than the temple itself. There were a few fun puzzles to solve, and seeing Sidon again was a treat, even if he's taken now. Since then, I've moved on up to Death Mountain, and my plan after that is to explore the depths a bit more. My Korok Siege space program has unfortunately undergone some budget cuts though, because I've run out of rockets and can't remember where to get more. If you watched our 2022 end of the year video, then you'll know that Splatoon 3 was my game of the year. In a shocking twist, I've only booted it up a handful of times this year, and always for the same reason. Big run. This one was a lot harder than Inkblot Art Academy a few months ago. I can chalk that up to being a bit rusty myself, but my random queues had a really tough time completing shifts. Still, the game is exceptionally fun and wonderfully fluid. It's just falling victim to me simply not having enough time to play it, and that's a damn shame. I really believed that Wave 5 was going to come out in June. When that Nintendo Direct got announced, I got giddy. But Nintendo tricked us. It is awesome that we got a little sneak preview and that Petey Piranha, Kamek and Wiggler are joining the roster, and the new bathroom track looks great, but I just need to know that Daisy Cruiser is coming so I can be at peace with the world. As with most games this month, my Mario Kart playtime has been siphoned by Overwatch, and I'm honestly not sure if that's good or bad for my health, but I have managed to get in a few races and had a good time doing so. We also need to wrap up this little Nintendo trio with a moment of silence. My first Pro Controller suffered a tragic death by stick drift early in June. It survived 4 years, and when I went to replace it, I couldn't get the Zelda one I wanted because it was out of stock. Fortnite entered Season 3 a few weeks back, and it's been a pretty great time. The new biome is fun, the weapon pool feels very different from Season 2 but still pretty great, and the gameplay changes have kept the game feeling nice and fresh without breaking the formula. There's not really a lot more to say in regards to Fortnite. It's still evolving well and manages to get me back each season long enough to complete my battle pass and have a blast in doing so. It'll likely become a mainstay in these end of the month videos. Fortnite was not the only game that got a new season in June. Modern Warfare 2 Season 4 saw the introduction of Vondel to DMZ and Warzone, and some new maps, modes and weapons for the multiplayer. In May, I dipped my toes into the DMZ mode and had a pretty good time. I'd love to hop into Vondel, but I simply cannot convince 2 friends to install DMZ. It's actually kind of baffling that there is still no solo mode. With that said, if you're a regular on the channel and do play DMZ, hit me up in the comments. It'd be fun to squad up. Multiplayer remains fun in moderation. The large-scale search and destroy was fun until people broke it with smoke drones and it got removed. We've also finally got permanent queues for 10v10 and the party modes, and the new weapons are fun if a bit basic because it's just another assault rifle and SMG. My only gripe this season are the maps. Season 3 brought 3 great maps, even if I'm sick of Black Gold because it comes up every other game. God damn. Palaeo's Lighthouse and Alborn Hatchery were both excellent additions to the map roster that I'm always excited to play. The new district map is simply miserable if you spawn on the lower side. There's not a lot of options and the enemy has a height advantage on every lane. If you happen to spawn on the high side, shooting fish in a barrel gets boring very quickly. Of all the places to cut out of Vondel, this was it. The other new map we got was Showdown from the original Modern Warfare, and Showdown is a fine map, and it is an Al Mazrah cutout, but of all COD 4 maps to remake, this is far from the top pick. So, all in all, I'm still a bit up and down with Modern Warfare 2, which is a shame because the launch was pretty strong in my opinion in terms of how much fun I was having with the gameplay. Right, that's everything your humble narrator has played this month, but my partner, the lovely editor of these videos, has been playing a pretty good game. Yes, we will do a video on this one day. Pinky swear. Now, I will parrot an opinion that isn't mine, like some sort of sentient puppet. If this keeps up, it will become one of my favourite games. It hasn't aged a day in looks, the narrative is gripping and emotional, and I'm simply having a blast playing with the boomerang axe. It's also very important that I mention that Kratos' voice is the single best voice in all of video games. So that's June. Honestly, I've had a blast this month, even if I've not been playing a lot of different games. There's a reason I've played an unhealthy amount of Overwatch 2, and that's because I've simply just been having fun with friends. It really is the best way to play games. So with that in mind, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what we end up playing in July, which will just be a full Overwatch 2 re-review in disguise and a 30-minute seminar on why you should play Mercy 2.